You don't see her as a woman, you see her as mommy. So when you're dealing with these mush-mouth Negro males, y'all got to understand, white women know it. They know it when they see your kids in school. When you've got the little young, articulate black male in these white women's classrooms, they understand that he's either going to become a revolutionary or a henchman. If he's articulate, it's only going to go one of two ways because he's a threat. An articulate black male who can express himself is a threat. So we're either going to have to co-opt him or destroy him because he's a threat. When y'all were back in school, you know I'm telling the truth. You all didn't see, when y'all were back in school, y'all remember the little mush mouth, mumble mouth, tongue-tied, grits and oatmeal mouth talking Negro in your school when you were in your class back in school? You remember him? Did the teachers ever mess with him? Did the teachers ever target him? No, they just let him sit there in the classroom and do whatever he does. They weren't targeting him. They were never doing that. The little mush-mouth kids, see, all you little articulate black kids who are now grown, they were targeting you, remember that? They targeted you. All of my articulate black kids who are now grown, y'all understand, they were targeting you, remember? Now, the little mush-mouth kid, they would either put him on the football team or give him a space in the classroom as the class clown. The little articulate kid, he would either, they had a spot for him. But you notice they didn't get rid of him. Now, you articulate kids, they targeted you. They targeted you on the daily. They were out for y'all. In the schools, let me tell you the way in which it works. If I can just be brutally honest with you. In the schools, if it is a white teacher, they target the black boys. And if it's a black female teacher, she targets the black girls. Oh, am I not supposed to say that? Am I not supposed to say that? Should I not be saying that? And my black females listening right now, y'all will bear me witness. The white female teachers, and they went at you too, but the black female teachers were the ones who were really sitting up here expressing their animosity, and you recognize that when you left the schools. See, the white women would focus on trying to co-opt you. But the older black females would focus on trying to undermine you. For the black males, however, they had the white teachers, particularly the white women. Those would be the ones who would target you. Now, if you were the dumb little Willie D. Mushmouth Negro, well, they didn't mess with you because they figured eventually we're just going to pass him from grade to grade until eventually he gets to high school. We're going to pass him out of there and then straight to prison. They figure if you dumb, mushmouth, tongue-tied, and you talk like Scooby-Doo, forget Ebonics, you got a Scooby-Doo accent. Well, yeah, I mean, if you like Willie D and mushmouth A-dunts, and you talk like Scooby-Doo, then yeah, I mean, we ain't got to worry about him. Leave him alone. I mean, he's a threat to other Negroes and to himself. He's not a threat to the system. Only thing's gonna happen, just keep passing him. Eventually, he'll eventually hit the prison system or something. That'll work out for us. That'll work out for us. Or leave him in the class as the class clown. You can do that too. Just leave him in there as the class clown. We'll be all right. It'll be okay. He's not a threat. He's not threatening to overthrow the system. He's not a threat to our primacy. He's not threatening what we do. But for those of you who actually could express yourselves, you are a threat from the beginning. So you see, what they'll do then is they'll take you off into for the black kids who they could label you as dumb, they take you out of the regular classroom and put you in special ed, if they can get away with it. Or they put you in gifted. That's what they do. They put you in gifted. Oh, if you're the little articulate black male, we gonna put you in gifted, where you gonna be the only black speck in the room. So now we begin the buck breaking process. Now we begin enculturating you and acclimating you. So you get into a situation where you're articulate, but they tell you the only other articulate people are the white kids. So you're over here with us. So now we begin the process of civilizing you and domesticating you. They think it's civilizing you, but we're really domesticating you. So that your frame of reference are white kids. This is how you get a Ken Thompson, a Clarence Thomas, a Jesse Lee Peterson. This is how you get them. They pick you up and go drop you off in the gifted class right about the age when puberty hits and you start noticing girls as not being icky. So they got a string of Beckys in front of you and you're their little black friend, their little black pet. And so you start telling yourself that you can compete for Becky's hand. You start telling yourself those things. And your mama probably thought it was a good idea. Probably thought it was a good idea. But this is how they get you early. They want to indoctrinate you early. Now, in my case, it wasn't like that. They tried the gifted thing, but my parents got to me a little bit too early for that. So for me, it wasn't nothing but disciplinary action the whole damn way. I was always the articulate troublemaker. I was that little black kid, that little articulate black kid who was giving them the history of Malcolm X. And they didn't like that. I was a little articulate black kid who, when the LA riots popped off in the 90s, I was sitting up here talking about Sergeant Stacy Coon and their record of abuses. I was the one running down in the classrooms telling them about the history of the Los Angeles Police Department. Those were some interesting years. I must have gotten in trouble every other week. So I was that kid. You wasn't going to be able to co-opt me like that. So it was like, okay, we can't co-opt him, target him for destruction. That's what we going to do. But they never had the opportunity to indoctrinate me that way. You were never going to get a chance to do that. So you were going to have to deal with me where I was at. You see, you got to understand, little mushmouth niggas, they always going to look for a hustle. That's what they're going to do. They're always going to look for a hustle and see if they can try to figure out a way to get, additional crumbs flicked off the table. That's what they're going to try to do. And you're living in a white supremacist society that they target and look out for the little mushmouth Negroes because they understand he can be controlled. You're dealing with a society that is perpetually on code. They are perpetually on code. So it doesn't matter what school in America you go to, the operating procedure for dealing with black children is the same. It doesn't matter where you are. That's why I've got brothers and sisters from around the world, but particularly around the United States, listening to me right now, and I can tell you what your experience in school was like, whether you were in New York, DC, Atlanta, Chicago, California, North Dakota, Montana, Wisconsin, Connecticut. It doesn't matter where you were. I can tell you what your experience was like because it is a code. The school system is running on a code. So it doesn't matter where in America you are. You can fool yourself into believing, well, they just didn't like me. No, this is how they treat all of us. This is uniform procedure across the board for every single one of us. Your principal, your assistant principal, your counselors, your coaches, ROTC.
Please welcome Congresswoman Cherry Sewell.
You got to understand that. This is a standard operating procedure that they use no matter where you are. It's a playbook. When they talk about national education standards, when you all, to my folks here, I got folks in my chat room right now, they're school counselors, teachers and whatnot. How many of y'all know that your white teachers go to workshops? Teachers go to workshops, a lot of y'all know that, but your white teachers be going to workshops that you don't go to. To all my teachers and education professionals, former education professionals, people who worked at schools, even universities, but particularly in grade schools, your white teachers have workshops, but your white teachers be going to workshops that my black folk, my black education professionals, you don't go to those. They have retreats, educational retreats. You don't get invited to those. You don't get to tag along to those. And then they come back to the schools and they execute what they've been talking about in their little private workshops, their little private groups. They go back and start executing what they've been working on and what they've been doing. They start executing that. But you notice your little dumbass mushmouth kids, they didn't do that to them. They didn't do that to them. And you're asking yourself, why the hell they didn't flunk out of class? Because I'm articulate and they damn near expelled me. So how in the world is it that the little dumbass kids, you didn't get them out of the class? I mean, they got a slot for you. You see, if you're big and dumb, then you can be a jock. You can be a football player. You can be a basketball player, so we can make you one of the Bucks. That's what you can do. If you big and dumb and mushmouth, we got a position for you. To all my folks who've been to college, we all know about this one here. When you get to college, they don't give a damn what you don't know. The University of Alabama, Alabama State University, was that where Nick Saban is? That ain't nothing but a football mill. Education be damned. University of North Carolina. University of Northern California and UCLA and all of the rest of them. That's what that's all about. That's for the dumb mushmouth black kids who actually had some physical abilities. We can put you out there to go get some concussions. We can put you out there to blow out your ACL, your MCL. We can put you out there to blow out your knees, blow out your rotator cuffs. We can put you out there to be physically destroyed. We can do that with you. That's all right. But how in the hell did you all, now you all are like, for you to make it to college, you had to pass the ACT and the SATs and every damn thing else. You had to pass tests to get into college. And a lot of you had to be tutored in order to pass those tests. How in the hell is all these dumbass football players who spell cat, K-R-T, how in the hell is it that they made it to college, but you had to study and get tutors to pass the test? How the hell is it that he made it? It's because that's the program. It's the program. They have a track set up for that. So if you big and dumb, you can be a football player. If you're little, dumb, and wacky, you can be the class clown. And if you're a real problem, we can get you set up for the school to prison pipeline. But we got a track for you. But for the articulate kids, no, you don't get to hang around like that. If you're not going to bend to the system, we got to destroy you. If you're not going to bend to the system.